G'day, and welcome to Giddy Fox Gaming. This elemental Insect Glaive build is capitalizing on the many quick attacks that Insect Glaive performs in its moveset. Dual blades and bow do element best, but Insect Glaive is right behind those two weapons and deciding on whether to build full element or not. As I was browsing through the smithy, I came across a particularly large element glaive that ended up inspiring everything for this build, and even turned into a special layered armor set that ties everything together. If you're looking for something fun, different, and satisfying, this Insect Glaive build is nothing like you've ever seen before. It still packs a large punch. Let me get in my corner and I'll show you the build. All right, here's what the elemental Insect Glaive build looks like normally, but I have a whole equipment set up all around this build, and I call it the Frostmoth build. For those of you who are Pokemon fans, you'll get this reference right away, and I'll put a picture on screen here of Frostmoth. But we're going for a full ice elemental Insect Glaive, which makes sense with Frostmoth, right? An ice bug Pokemon. Works out pretty good. And here is the build that we're running. Like I said before, we're using an ice element Insect Glaive, which is from Jin Dahad here. It has a massive elemental damage modifier here that lets us go into full element pretty easily. So I added a bunch of gems to the Insect Glaive that adds ice damage to it. Frost Jewel 2, Frost Jewel 1 to get us to Ice Attack 3. And then I threw on the Mastery Jewel here so that we don't lose sharpness very easily. We have a pretty big amount of affinity on this build when we're running against wounds, and this build makes wounds very easily, very quickly. So weakness exploit is about all we need in order to run master exploit and not really worry about sharpness that much. It doesn't matter a ton here. And then the rest of the build here, we're going all in on elemental damage. So I pulled up the burst skill here, which gets us at level 5, gets us elemental damage plus raw damage. We've got coalescence, which triggers whenever we recover from an abnormal status ailment. So we're running Gore Magala equipment, 2 pieces, to give ourselves the Frenzy Virus, so that when we cure from the Frenzy Virus, we'll trigger Coalescence. That gives us elemental damage as well. And then Antivirus is going to give us some more affinity when we cure from Frenzy as well. It's pretty nice. But this build does pretty good damage, like really, really good damage. And you get to be a Pokemon, which is pretty sick. Kind of fun. And it's a lot different than what your normal Insect Glaive builds may look like. In terms of we're going all in on the elemental side of the damage. We still do lots of raw damage. There's still lots of skills in this build that are very meta similar anyways. They're not all exactly the same, but I really wanted to hone in fully on the elemental damage that this build does. And so Burst and Coalescence work really well with that, and then Ice Attack here. So that's the build, but there's no better way to show off the build than to go into a hunt with it and see just what all it can do. So let me fire up a hunt quick, and we'll see what Frostmoth can pull off here. Okay, I fired up a Guardian Fulgur Anjanath quest. And I'm playing solo for this one only because this build does better solo than multiplayer. You can play it multiplayer. It's fine. It works out just fine. But the more focus strikes you get to land, the better the Insect Glaive performs. So we're going to play this solo player to show that off for you. Also, this guy's huge. So why not get a crown out of it too, huh? There's a mount to start things off. Poke this guy in the back a bunch here. There we go. All right, a little spin to win here. Perfect. Biggest goal is to get all 3 buffs as soon as possible. So we'll make our way around this guy to grab them all. Here's a roar. Ooh, 2 in a row. All right, well, we got the buffs now. And now we attack. Or get attacked. Same thing, right? Ooh, a little early there, but that's fine. Perfect, there we go. I want to keep this right-click charge pretty much all the time, because that's where a lot of our damage comes out here. Plus, we have a way to do a offset attack, which is nice. Woo, you got me there. There we go. Okay. We'll heal up here quick. This build really likes to play on the ground because we get so many attacks on the ground. Oh, that shouldn't have hit me there. Crazy. So something to keep in mind. It's not that you can't use the aerial to get around. That's always a nice thing to do. But when you're doing your combos, you want to stay on the ground where you can, because you get the most auto attacks from doing that. There we go. that was a nice offset, though. We just missed it. Flying. There we go. Coming down. Perfect. Ooh, he got me. Okay, here we go. Looking for buffs. Woo, that was a close one. I see that focus strike wound there. We'll take it. Now we get to fully charge. Right here on the feet. We get all of our, there we go, buffs there. Awesome. And now we hold this and we go all in. We're going to go for a little spin here. Like this. Look at all that damage. That's crazy. And then we focus strike the wound again. And we're buffed up again. And now we can do it all over again. The goal here is not burn your buffs right away. We want to get the most damage out of the buffs we can and look for another wound. There's another wound, so we can let this go and head on up. Woo! Got me there. All right, we're going for a spin. We're going for getting hit. Okay, all right, all right. Eat one of these. There we go. I hear you, Gemma. I hear you. Leaving. All right. We just got here, but that's fine. We'll go again. Okay, here we go again. Perfect. Come on down. Charge this up. Go for a spin. Going up. Oh, we missed it all from the tail break. That's fine. We're looking for the old focus strike here to repop our buffs again. There we go. It's on the ground. Perfect. Charge it up and we'll go in again. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Classic. Woo! Go for this. Look for the offset. Oh, it was right there. We almost had it. We'll go up though. There it is. Perfect. Focus strike in the sky. Woo! That was close. Almost dodged it. Oh no, he got me there. Stay alive, Frostmoth. Stay alive. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. There we go. Perfect. Okay, looking for the focus strike again here. Perfect. There's the focus strike. Oh, get me out of there. Good job, good job. Right there. Nice. Now we're charged again. Charge it up. Here we go. Attack that face. Go for a spin. Go for a fly. Nice. Got the mount on the fly. That's great. Perfect. The build's really fun. Lots of spinny, flashy attacks we get to do. We play around the focus strikes continuously. That's the whole idea. It makes buffing yourself a lot easier to just go for the focus strike than to try to collect all the buffs one by one. The damage is pretty high as well, which is the whole idea, right? There's a wound pop there. Take it. And I'm just a big fan of this charge attack as well as the flying attack. And so I made the build work really well with those attacks because it's going to do the most elemental with that. Oh no, we got eaten. Frostpop, get out of there. Run. Oh man, you got bit. That's all right. Okay. Yep, that's fine. One of those. Go for a spin. Go for a fly. Perfect. All right, and we go back for the focus strike again. All day, every day. Back and forth, back and forth. And we do a lot of damage while we do it. It's pretty easy going. He's limping. All right, we almost got him finished. I'll carve this tail, then we'll go finish up the hunt. All right, let's finish this guy. He's almost dead. We'll get him here. Ooh, nice roar, nice roar. And he's gone. And as you can see, even with somebody not that experienced with the insect glaive, You can pull this build off really easily. It does so much damage. You really only need 2 or 3 attacks, and that's pretty much it. And you only get better at this build as you get better with the Insect Glaive. As you learn all the attack patterns and where you can dodge and get the offsets, it gets better. But the damage is huge, and that's the whole idea, is to play off the massive element damage and just cook people in the, or cook monsters, I guess, in the big tornado upward attack. So enjoy the build. Hope you have fun with it. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. We'll catch you the next one.